This video is brought to you by Soccer.com, North America's largest online soccer retailer. Don't forget to use coupon code 1SR4U13 at checkout for free shipping within the US on any order of $100 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Puma evoSPEED 1 SL. So I'll get the shoes out of the box really quickly. Keep in mind there are no extras inside the box other than the shoes themselves. I'll get this out of the way. And if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the Puma evoSPEED 1 SL. And I realize as of today, Puma has unveiled their brand new evoSPEED 1.2 line, which is going to be replacing the standard model evoSPEED 1s. This is the evoSPEED 1 SL, and while we have known about it for a little while now, it is going to run alongside the evoSPEED 1.2s. It's not going to be discontinued. We will see new colorways in the near future. So just keep in mind this is going to stick around as the super light version of the evoSPEED alongside the evoSPEED 1.2s. Now this was an interesting release from Puma, mainly because they unveiled the shoe such a long time ago, and it really kind of stayed in that pre-order phase for about 2 months, where pretty much none of the online retailers had these things in stock, so a lot of people forgot about them, including myself, until they arrived at my doorstep this morning. So as far as the shoe itself goes, it is a lot different than the pre-release version of the shoe, which is the Puma evoSPEED 1 SL Ducati, which is what I have here. I did an unboxing of this shoe a long time ago, and I have worn it. I never put out a review, mainly because I knew this version of the shoe was going to be a lot different than the actual evoSPEED 1 SL. This Ducati version features a completely different synthetic upper, completely different heel liner, a completely different fit, and you can see it has the Ducati branding on there. And to me, this is a shoe that was more about looks than about actual performance. So I probably will still put out a review for this particular model, but just keep in mind from a performance standpoint and build quality standpoint, the standard evoSPEED 1 SL is a lot nicer than the evoSPEED 1 SL Ducati. Now, as far as this shoe goes, it is really impressive. I'm happy with it. I wasn't expecting it to be as nice as it actually is, and overall, I'm just really excited to give these guys a try. The first thing that you're going to notice about this shoe is that they are ultra lightweight. Really light, and I'll show you guys in the weigh-in portion of the video a little bit later how light they actually are, and they are going to be one of the lightest models currently out there on the market. What's really unique about this particular shoe, as you guys can probably see, is all the perforations going in the upper, and those go clean through the upper. There's nothing there to stop the airflow, so that's great if you're going to be playing on hot days, but for wet weather, this is probably not a shoe that you want to wear because it will allow water to go right into the shoe fairly easily because you do have all these perforations going through there. Now, the perforations are obviously to shave a little bit of weight as well as allow for a little bit of airflow. So if you're one of those people that does want a shoe that has some airflow, this is going to be one of your only options when it comes to soccer shoes that is actually going to have a little bit of breathability to it. As far as the upper itself goes, it's made from a one-piece synthetic microfiber, and it actually is very nice. It's different from the synthetic used on the evoSPEED 1s in that it's a little bit thinner and a little bit softer, and overall just feels really good. Reminds me somewhat of what you're going to find on the Nike Mercurial Vapor 9 in the Tahitian synthetic that shoe uses, but nonetheless this synthetic feels really good, very thin, and it's cool that there's no visible stitching on the upper whatsoever. Even the tongue itself, as you can see, is fused together between the kind of main part of the upper and the tongue. There's no stitching at all, so friction is not going to be an issue, and you can see that the shoes just have a unique shape overall with that kind of anatomical fit. Fairly wide through the forefoot, and then it tapers around at the toe box. Kind of a unique shape. A lot of people don't like this pointy toe style from Puma, but if you've ever tried it out, then you definitely will like it because trust me, it fits really nicely and just feels good when you play. You don't notice this point in the toe at all. I'm personally a really big fan of the fit, and like I said, if you're scared of that pointy toe, trust me, you're going to like it. I haven't come across anybody that's tried the shoe and not like the shape of the toe box. So the synthetic itself, like I mentioned, is a very thin synthetic material. One layer, as far as I can tell. You do have a little bit of a support system here going through the laces there, just so you don't have to worry about the upper ripping at all. And there is no EverFit cage on the inside. There does appear to be a very thin layer of some kind of supportive material, and that flows throughout the entire shoe, which, like I said, just feels really good when you put them on your feet. You do have the perforations going through the tongue as well, a central lacing system, and as far as texture on the upper, it does have that little bit of a metallic finish with this Jasmine
jasmine green color, which I think looks really, really good. It's somewhat unusual to have a metallic green, and it really does kind of stand out in the light. And you can see that there are perforations, but there's also a little bit of dimpling. Again, very similar to what you're going to find on the speed control versions of the Nike Mercurial Vapor 9. That's going to allow some kind of varied texture on the upper, which is kind of an unusual decision to do by Puma in that it is very, very similar to Nike, but I believe this was probably in the works before Nike's was. It's hard to say who copied who, but like I said, it is a very, very similar concept on the upper itself. You can see that it does have a very low cut heel with your external plastic heel counter. Very, very lightweight, but you still get that little bit of protection and just overall support when you do have the shoes tied up. You have your evoSPEED logo there on the back, and that's probably the one part of stitching that they covered up. But like I said, other than that, there's no visible stitching on the upper whatsoever. I'll give you guys a quick look at the insole here. It's pretty much your mesh-based insole here on the top, and it's pretty much just an EVA foam. A little bit of targeted cushioning, just a little bit, but for the most part, it's a very lightweight, very minimalistic insole that will do a good job of just providing that nice step in comfort for the shoe itself. The heel liner, not sure if I mentioned, is kind of a slightly textured synthetic leather material. Really nice and should do a good job of keeping your heel locked in place. And as far as the sole plate itself goes, it is a thermoplastic elastomer, which is a very, very flexible plastic material. You can see it is somewhat see-through, and you can actually see that there is a carbon fiber shank running through the midfoot of the boot, just to provide that nice lateral stiffness for the shoe itself. You have that carbon fiber shank right there, and because it is a little bit see-through, you can see how far it actually does extend. So it goes through the entire midfoot and halfway back to the heel as well, if you guys can see that kind of squeaking through there on the plastic itself. So you got plenty of carbon fiber on there, so you have lots of stiffness going through the midfoot, which is definitely great for striking the ball, and plenty of flexibility here in the forefoot. The shoe itself is actually stuffed right now, but you can see there is a like thinned out section on the upper to allow for a little bit of extra flexibility, and it's pretty much the same SL platform that we've seen used on the last couple of SL models from Puma in their kind of speed boot range. You have your three kind of bladed studs on either side of the forefoot, one support stud in the middle, and your 5 bladed studs here in the heel. Overall, it works very, very well as a lightweight soccer shoe stud pattern, and for the most part just performs really, really nicely, and I'm really happy with it overall. So that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing portion of the video goes, and I'll move on to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys actually are. The evoSPEED 1 SL is all about being as light as possible, and Puma has done that very, very successfully. Both in hand and on feet, the shoe feels incredibly lightweight. So we're going to compare the weight of the evoSPEED 1 SL to the weight of the Adidas F50 Adizero in synthetic. This is the Messy edition, and the synthetic version of the Adizero is going to be the lightest weight version available. So keep in mind this is a brand new pair of evoSPEED 1 SLs in a size 10 US, which actually fits more like a 9 US. So we're going to throw that on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 5.85 ounces. So they're below the 6 ounce mark, which is very, very light. Like I said, it doesn't even feel like you're wearing shoes when they're on your feet. So I'll take that off the scale, and we'll throw on the Adizeros. Again, they're a used pair, slightly used, in a size 9 US. We're going to throw this on the scale, and you can see that these weigh in at 6.1 ounces. So they're just a little bit heavier than the Puma evoSPEED 1 SLs. Is there actually a noticeable difference in weight when they are on your feet? Not really, but just keep in mind that the evoSPEED 1 SL is just a little bit lighter than the kind of competitor, which would obviously be the synthetic version of the F50 Adizero. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of this video goes, and I'll move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea of how these fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the Puma evoSPEED 1 SLs on feet, and from right out of the box, this is actually a very comfortable pair of shoes considering their lightweight construction. Now, one problem that a lot of people have with ultra lightweight soccer shoes is that they have a very tight, almost constrictive fit about them, which isn't always suitable towards most foot types. Whereas something like the evoSPEED 1 SL, because it does have that anatomic shaping to it, it doesn't have an overly tight fit, and it allows you to have a nice comfortable feel in the shoe while still maintaining an ultra lightweight construction. Now, that's not to say that these don't have a tighter fit about them, because they do hug your foot very, very nicely, but they don't really grab your foot and squeeze it like a pair of Nike Mercurial Vapor 9s will, or even a pair of synthetic Adizeros. So for the most part, as an ultra lightweight soccer shoe, this is definitely going to be one of the most comfortable options out there on the market. As far as the fit of the shoe goes, I wouldn't say that they're overly narrow. I have about average width feet, slightly flat-footed as well, and there still is more room in the width for this particular shoe. So if you did have slightly wider feet, you're not going to have too many issues fitting into this boot. Like I mentioned earlier, you do have a good amount of width here in the forefoot, and that anatomical shaping does allow for pretty much any foot type or any foot shape to fit in the shoe very, very comfortably. Sizing is the one thing you really have to be careful with this particular shoe. Instead of my usual size 9 US, I had to go up to a size 10 US in this particular shoe. And you can see that the fit in the length is absolutely perfect. I'm right at the end. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself and want the best possible fit, I would strongly recommend going up a full size. So where I was normally wearing a 9, I went up to a size 10. That's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video goes, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing plus on-feet video of the Puma evoSPEED 1 SL. I'm very excited to get to testing these guys, so look out for my full review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. In the next month or so, you will find a direct link down below in the description to that if you are at all interested. On that same review page, you're also going to find buy it now links for this particular shoe, and you can actually pick them up on sale for some pretty good prices, so go ahead and check that out if that does interest you. If you guys have any questions regarding the shoe, feel free to leave a comment down below, and also let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing a play test on this particular shoe. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to support it with a like. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. You'll also find links down below in the description to my t-shirt shop, as well as all of my social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So go ahead and check those out if that does interest you. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.